Hey guys, what's going on? This is DeadDrop, and today we're going to be talking about the For Honor closed alpha, which dropped today on September the 15th. If you guys haven't signed up for it, if you guys don't have a code, you guys can go ahead and check the link below in the description and go ahead and sign up for whatever platform it is that you want to play this game on. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about the 6 classes that are offered in the closed alpha really quickly, and those are the Warden, the Conqueror, the Berserker, the Raider, the Kensei, and the Orochi. Now, each different character has a different playstyle, and they all have different move lists that you actually have to learn, because you can't jump into this game and expect to just start mashing on buttons and doing well. You're probably going to get destroyed the first couple of matches until you get a feel for the game. I do feel like the game has a good learning curve in terms of the combat system, right? With different stances and the mind games that can be played by doing that, as well as things like guard breaking and counter guard breaking and parrying and throwing and dashing and rolling and all these great different things that are in the game. During my play session, which lasted about 2 hours, I want to say, I was having a lot of fun. I was laughing, I was trash talking, I was, clapping, I was laughing at every time I got thrown out of the ring, I was laughing at every time I threw my opponent out of the ring. The executions were pretty cool. There were a couple of, questionable, I guess, glitches that occur at the end of each round where, the opponent who died or the person who died will stand up all of a sudden and the camera will glitch out and sometimes it'll go inside of them, but it's nothing that affects the gameplay in terms of the actual combat, right? It always occurs at the end of the round once somebody has lost. Now, I only played the 1v1 duel just because that's the mode that interests me the most. I like that 1v1 head-to-head competition where you have to, again, outthink and outspace and maneuver your opponent, right? There's a lot of mind games that can be played in that situation, and there are other game modes. There's a 2v2 and a 4v4 game type, but I didn't really touch those because, again, it's not my thing. That's not what I want to do. I want to play this game against one other person, and we go mano a mano and we see who's the better man at the end of the day. As far as the performance of the game goes, I played it on PC. I didn't really notice any frame drops or screen tearing or any problems. There's a variety of different PC graphical options available to you. Pretty much all of them are there, and it's weird because this is an alpha and usually those things don't exist in alphas, but it's nice to see that these are actually there in the alpha so that if you're having frame rate issues, you can go ahead and adjust them. I haven't played it on PS4 yet, so I don't know how it functions on there. I think it's locked at 30 frames per second, which isn't necessarily a good thing in my opinion, but if you're used to that, if you're okay with that, then I don't see what's stopping you from playing this game because it is a lot of fun. As far as customization options go, there seems to be quite a few. You can change what sword blade you're using, the hilt of the blade, the guard of the blade. You can change your armor. You can change your skin color, your gender. You can change the color layout of your character's armor, right? The palette swaps and things like that. You can do all of that different type of stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if they add like character skins once the game is released through, DLC and microtransactions. And that brings me to the main point of this video, which is the main worry or main concern that I have for this game. Now, when you go to the menu where it shows your character and move list and all of these different things, there's an option there that says scavenge for gear, right? And essentially what this does is you click on it and it takes you to another menu where it has, I think, 3 or 4 different options, and it's very clear that there's going to be microtransactions in this game. And you might think, well, that's not necessarily a big deal. Are they all cosmetic? The answer is no, because it's 2016 and this wouldn't be a next-gen AAA title if there weren't microtransactions that actually affected the gameplay, right? So you'll see it on the screen if you haven't already. There's a couple of different options there, and these things are purchased by using steel, which functions as the in-game currency for Honor. Now, I'm sure that the steel is going to be able to be purchased through the PlayStation Store or through the Uplay Store or through the Xbox Live Marketplace and these different types of platforms. But as it stands right now, it seems like the only way you can obtain these packs is by gaining steel through playing matches. And obviously that's going to continue once the game is released. However, the problem that I see with this is the fact that if you win a match, you get 6 steel in a 1v1 duel. I don't know about the other game modes. I don't know if you get more, right? If you lose the match, you get 3 steel. The lowest tier pack, which obviously would probably give you like the most common stuff, which is probably not very good, costs 300 steel. So if you lose every match, you're looking at 100 matches just to be able to unlock that. If you're winning every match, then it takes you 50 matches, which is still a pretty good chunk of time when you consider that each match is a best of 5 and each round has a 5-minute counter that can be just drained, right? I didn't run into anybody doing that, which is nice, but I'm assuming that eventually if they add like a ranked mode or something like that, it will probably, that'll probably be a factor that you have to consider. So I'm kind of worried about the idea that this game might be pay to win, right? Because the things that you're purchasing are those upgrades to your weapon or to your armor that give you meaningful stat increases and make your character that much better. Now, I don't know how broken or overpowered these things are going to be because, again, first day of the alpha, nobody's been using that. The only gear that you've been getting is like the gear that you get from after each match. But just the fact that this is even there, I feel like, now let me say this, right? I'm not 100% against DLC and microtransactions. I think that would have fit this game well. I think they could have done DLC, like add newer characters later on down the line, or add different maps, or add different, like I said, skins, right? To change the way your character looks and stuff like that. Different customization options or cosmetic options, color, different colors or palette swaps. But when you add in DLC and microtransactions that directly affect the game, where people can essentially break out their wallet and just start spending to get better items, and going back to a gambling system that we see in many other games that a lot of people don't necessarily agree with. I don't understand why developers feel the need to throw away all the hard work and dedication that they put towards making a game that is as fun as this game has been to me so far. I feel like the inclusion of these kinds of microtransactions will ultimately end up killing a game if it's not done properly. And I haven't run into a game that I can think of that did these kinds of microtransactions properly. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I really hope that that isn't the case with this game, because like I said, I've been having a lot of fun playing it. It combines pretty much all of the elements that I enjoy of fighting games and doesn't have any of like the pride EP bullshit, which I don't necessarily have a problem with, but it's nice to have a game that has those elements that I can just kind of kick back, play it casually and have fun while I'm doing that. And, it just sucks to see that there's a very real possibility that it might be ruined by things like microtransactions. And I honestly, there are things like daily challenges that you can do, and you can obtain steel through doing that. But honestly, I would just prefer them, instead of doing that, why not just have daily challenges to unlock these things, or have character challenges like execute 100 enemies using this execution in order to unlock this weapon or unlock this feat, or there's a million different ways they could do this. But unfortunately, they've chosen to go with the most I'm just going to say greedy way, because they know that people will buy this if the game is popular enough. Now, I don't know how popular this game will be at launch. I haven't really seen too many people talking about it so far. I haven't seen it be in the top games on Twitch. There are people that are streaming it, but outside of the people that I follow on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Twitch, it doesn't seem to be like there's a whole lot of people talking about this. In fact, I would be willing to bet that most people probably don't even know that this alpha is out right now, which is kind of indicative of the marketing that Ubisoft has been giving this game, right? So I'm really hoping that when this game comes out, none of the stuff that I said in this video is true, as far as the microtransactions and as far as like the player base. I hope that it has a strong player base 6 months, a year, 2 years later, and it has a strong DLC campaign, because like I said, I'm not necessarily against DLC as long as it provides longevity for a game, if it's a substantial amount of content, or if it's new characters and things like that. But when you're adding in DLC that is essentially a cash grab, and it's essentially a way to buy an advantage, or a way to skip ahead just because you have that credit card or you have that extra money to spend, I don't like that. I don't like seeing that in games anymore. But it seems to be a common occurrence. It seems to be a reoccurring occurrence, and it seems to just it's here to stay, and I just have to deal with it. But yeah, I'm just saying, I'm really enjoying the game. It seems very solid. Again, like I said, it has all of the stuff that I like. There are a couple of things that maybe I don't necessarily agree with, and the thing about that is I don't know if that's just because this is an alpha or if that's intentionally in the game. But for being a closed alpha, quote unquote, I don't know how much of that is true and how much of that is just them saying like, hey, we're testing balance and stuff like that. The game plays really well. The game plays really solid. And again, like I said, I don't really see any technical issues with the game. I haven't run into any balance problems that are, glaring. The only real problem that I've run into so far is the microtransactions part. So again, like I said, I'm hoping that none of the stuff that I said in this video is true. I hope that we can get a game that comes out on February the 14th that is solid, that is fun to play, that won't be pay to win, and that will be able to maintain a solid player base well into its future. But, that remains to be seen. We'll have to wait and see until the game comes out in order to make that decision. But with that being said, let me know down below what you think about this. Are you guys down for these microtransactions? Are you guys enjoying the game? Or do you guys just think this game sucks and it's very slow paced and it's too hard or it's too boring or whatever? Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a dislike if you disliked the video. Make sure you subscribe and make sure to follow me on Twitter so you guys can see what my evolving opinion on this game is as I play it over the weekend. And again, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about microtransactions in games like this, right? That affect the core gameplay and affect how good, I guess, someone is. Like, is it going to be a situation where I don't even know what half of these things do and I'm just walking in there and one-shotting people? Is that even a possibility where you can one-shot people? Or is it still going to maintain the skill curve that seems to be in this game as it stands right now? But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Go play some For Honor, have some fun, chuck some people off maps, and then laugh about it like I've been doing.